You've probably heard the name BlackRock. It's a name that gets whispered in the halls of power, a financial giant that shapes our world in ways most of us are only just starting to figure out. But what is BlackRock, really? All right, let's get into it. First, let's just start with a number that is, well, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. $12.5 trillion. That's how much money BlackRock manages. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire annual economic output of every country on Earth, except for the US and China.
So what does it actually mean for one company to wield that much financial firepower? And whose money is all of that anyway? That's the big question we're here to unpack.
To really get a handle on BlackRock's influence, we have to start by understanding the sheer magnitude of that number. It's a scale that's honestly hard to even picture.
So let's just try. Forget about a skyscraper made of cash. We're talking about a stack of $100 bills that would stretch all the way to the moon and back several times. It's an almost unimaginable river of capital that flows through the entire global economy.
So how does a company with this much money actually work? Well, you can kind of think of BlackRock as a financial coach, but for the entire planet.
At its heart, BlackRock is an asset manager. Basically, they take money from clients, think pension funds, governments, individuals, and they invest it to help it grow. The key thing to remember is they're managing other people's money, not their own.
Now, this is a really important point. BlackRock isn't a bank. Banks lend out their own money. BlackRock is what's called a fiduciary, which is just a fancy way of saying they have a legal duty to always act in their client's best financial interest. The whole relationship is built on trust. So that $12.5 trillion, it's not BlackRock's money. It belongs to teachers, firefighters, governments, and maybe even you through your retirement savings account. BlackRock is just the caretaker, not the owner. BlackRock's climb to the top was no accident. It all started back in 1988 with this laser focus on managing risk. But their big break, the moment that really put them on the map, was in 2008 when the US government literally called them to help clean up the toxic mess of the financial crisis. A year later, they bought iShares and, well, the rest is history. So how did BlackRock get so dominant? It really comes down to two key things: making investing easy for everyone and a piece of technology that's been called the central nervous system of the financial world. Take a look at this. Their business model is all about scale. You can see that a whopping 83% of their revenue comes from taking these tiny little fees. We're talking fractions of a percent on the trillions of dollars they manage. They make a little bit of money from a whole lot of money. And this creates a really powerful cycle. Their massive scale means they can offer super low-cost products, which attracts even more money, which of course makes them even bigger. And the engine driving all of it is their cutting-edge technology. A huge reason for BlackRock's growth is the ETF. Imagine being able to buy a tiny piece of every single company in the S&P 500 with just one click. That's pretty much what an ETF does, and BlackRock's iShares brand made it incredibly simple and available to everyone. But BlackRock's real secret weapon is a piece of software called Aladdin. It's this super powerful risk management system. It not only helps BlackRock manage its own money, but it's also licensed out to hundreds of other financial institutions. In total, it keeps an eye on over $21 trillion, using powerful analytics to try and see around corners and model potential risks. But you know what they say, with great power comes great scrutiny. And BlackRock's massive influence has put it right at the center of some of the biggest, most heated debates of our time. It all really kicked into high gear with this one simple sense in a letter from BlackRock's CEO: climate risk is investment risk. Those 6 little words sent a shockwave through the corporate world and thrust BlackRock right into the heart of the fiery debate over ESG investing. And this created an absolute firestorm. BlackRock says it's just doing its job, its fiduciary duty, to protect its clients' money from the long-term financial risks of climate change. But critics accuse them of pushing a political agenda, of using their financial weight to pick winners and losers. It got so contentious that some states actually pulled billions of dollars in protest. And the criticism doesn't just stop at ESG. Some people worry that BlackRock, along with 2 other giants, has just become too powerful, with too much influence over the world's biggest companies. And their investments in China have also raised more than a few eyebrows. So where does a company with this much power and this much controversy go from here? Well, unsurprisingly, BlackRock is already making some massive bets on the future. They're investing billions in the fundamental building blocks of AI.
They're buying up physical infrastructure like data centers and even airports. And they're even dipping their toes into the future of finance itself, creating new kinds of funds that actually live on the blockchain.
Which brings us full circle. BlackRock's reach is, well, it's undeniable. It's in our retirement savings, it's in the infrastructure of our world. But that leaves us with this one big, lingering question. Is BlackRock just managing our money, or is it now shaping our future?